Hey guys, it's Lizzie here. So today I'm going to be talking to you about some tips for pre-nursing students. I'm a pre-nursing student right now, and I have been for the last year and a half. So I think I've, gotten some good ideas and on how to really be a good pre-nursing student, some tips on how to succeed at being a pre-nursing student. So let's get into the video. I have my laptop here so I don't ramble too much. So the first couple are for high school students that know that they want to go into nursing. So first off, it's if you're in high school and your high school offers courses for college credit like AP classes, then I would truly suggest taking those. I know for my school we need a psych class, a history class, and like an English class. We need a lot of classes that don't really pertain to our major. So if you have the opportunity in high school to take the courses like AP Psych, AP US History, or AP Government, or any history class when you get into college, they help you move on faster into the courses that you need rather than the courses that you have to take for GERs. So you get those out of the way and you can apply to nursing school sooner. You can focus more on your core classes that are for your major, like anatomy and chemistry and the real nursing classes, which is super nice and super beneficial, and that's something that I wish I would have done more. The next one for high school students is to, if you know that you want to go into nursing, apply to schools that have direct admit nursing programs. So schools like this I know are like Xavier, Marquette University, and SLU. And I have friends that go to all three, and I have friends that are in the nursing programs in all three, and they love that they didn't have to, beginning of sophomore year, they love that they didn't have to apply to the professional nursing program. And that's something that I really wish I would have done, because it just alleviates so much stress. I know at the beginning of my sophomore year, I was so stressed because I was applying to nursing school. I had all my classes. I was in hard classes that, obviously, being a pre-nursing student, you're in classes that are important and you need to know the information and you need to get good grades to get into the nursing school. So I had to focus on getting good grades, I had to focus on learning all of the information that was given to me, and I had to focus on applying and making sure that I had a bomb application to get into nursing school. And you have to write essays, you have to get recommendation letters, you have to log all of your service and volunteer hours, and it's just a lot of work. So going into college, it would have been great if I was accepted directly into the nursing program and wouldn't have had to do all that stuff. Alright, so my first tip for students that are in the pre-nursing is plan everything. So I have friends who always are like, oh, I can't do this, I have to study, oh, I have no time, and stuff like that. But if you plan your day out and really log everything, you'll have time for everything. I live by my planner, and I plan everything down to the T, and I have time to do whatever I want. And you have time to work out, you have time to go out with your friends and hang out with your friends, as well as study and sleep. And you have time for it all if you really prioritize and budget your time, and you don't spend 20 hours a weekend watching Netflix on your bed. You have time to do everything, and it's really important that people understand that in pre-nursing, now I'm not in nursing school yet, so I don't know about that, but for pre-nursing, a lot of people say, that I go to school with, say, oh, I don't have time to do this or that, but you do if you really make time. And it's easy to do if you really plan out your schedule and have, I'm doing this from this time, and I'm doing this from this to this time. You have time to do it all. I think I have two more. My first one, when you're taking these classes, learn the information. Don't memorize, learn it. I learned this the hard way. So for example, in Anatomy 1, I did pretty well in the class. I got an A, so that was fun. But I didn't learn the information. I memorized it all. I made note cards for everything in the book that we needed to know, and I memorized it, and as soon as the test happened, I shoved it out of my brain to memorize new things. And I did not learn the information. So for Anatomy 2, when we are building off things we learned in Anatomy 1, I would have saved so much time in my Anatomy 2 semester because I wouldn't have had to learn all the stuff from Anatomy 1 that I was just lazy and just memorized and didn't learn and forgot it all. So that is a thing that I truly think people should do, is learn the information instead of memorizing. And now like I really try to learn things from my class instead of memorizing so that it sticks in my brain and I know it when I have another class that just builds off of it. So I would learn instead of memorize. The last one is something that I have done for years and I finally learned maybe last semester that it doesn't work for me, is cramming. And I think that it doesn't work for a lot of people. So what I've learned to do that works really, really well and how I think I succeed is I study a little bit every day. Alright, so I'm in biochem, microbiology, child psychology, and clinical nutrition. And then I also am in yoga, but I don't have to like study for that. So I have 4 big classes that are really important that I get good grades in. So what I do every day for each of those classes is study 20 minutes. So I study about an hour and 20 minutes a day in total, just like learning the information that I was given in class or just stuff in the textbook. Like I spend 20 minutes a day learning that, and I do that every single day of the week. Now, I don't, maybe like 6 times a week. Like I usually don't study too much on Sundays because Sunday fun day, am I right? So I try, like, which when you think about it, an hour and 20 minutes a day is not too much, which I guess it's not too much, and like it's super, super doable. And I've noticed my grades on my tests, I'm so much less stressed. I get good, I get the same, if not better grades on all of my tests, and I know the information instead of memorizing. When I cram, I memorize, I don't learn. But when I actually study, I learn the information, and it really is beneficial. And I think that this is like the 20 minutes of studying each class a day is something that I live by right now. Like I think that it's really, really helped. And obviously if I have a test coming up, I'll amp up the studying to like an hour a day for that class. Like probably the week before the test or whatever, I'll study maybe not an hour, maybe like 40 minutes a day for that class. And yeah, my grades have just gotten so much better, and I actually know the information. The last one's just kind of like a given. It's just stay organized, like stay on top of all your stuff. Don't fall behind. Go to classes and just all the general stuff that most college students need to get good grades. And yeah, so those were about 6 tips that I found really work really well for pre-nursing students, or at least for me, who I am a pre-nursing student. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah.